Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're talking about two upcoming potential snowstorms for the United States. One for the areas out west, and then one for the areas in the east. Anyways, before I get into this video, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. For today's comment of the day, I want to know, do you think that any of these snowstorms will happen, or do you think both of them might happen? Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Alright, now we're taking a look at some national radar, and as you can see, we actually do have some storminess up here for the northwest, including a lot of snowfall there for the Cascades, as well as the northern Rockies here in Idaho and Montana. This is not our snowstorm that we're going to be talking about in this video. Later on, we're going to see a storm headed kind of like this, just like that, bringing snowfall to a lot of regions in there. But we're going to talk about that, especially once we move on to the modeled guidance. So we're going to wait to do that. Now, you can also see that we do have our cold front moving through right here. And if you are anywhere along the East Coast, you probably felt a lot of windiness last night because that was a very, very strong cold front. I talked about that actually in our video yesterday, how it was going to be such a strong cold front, and we have winds racing here from the Arctic regions, pushing this cold front through. It is going to be quite cold, but it's not going to be too long-lived, actually, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on if you want cold or warm. But once we're approaching Christmas time, I pretty much want cold. I don't want it to be 70 like it was yesterday, so that's just my standpoint on things. But you might feel differently. Now let's zoom into some different regions here. First things first, let's take a look at the Pacific Northwest here. And as you can see, we do have that storminess moving onshore. This is the third or fourth day in a row where we've had storminess heading onshore to the Pacific Northwest in our videos. But now we also include Northern California there. It is also involved with this, and we can see snowfall basically all the way through these mountain ranges as that storminess is heading onshore. We also have some snowfall here, obviously, where there's some very tall mountains there. But storminess heading onshore in general. A lot of rain along the coast, and then that snowfall in the mountain ranges just onshore. And some of these areas of precipitation are making it through the mountains. And we are seeing some storminess in general here for the northern Rockies. It's going to be mostly Idaho, Montana, maybe a tiny bit of northwestern Wyoming as well. And that's bringing plenty of rainfall in lower elevations and plenty of snowfall there in the higher elevations in general. Let's move our way to the southeast, where we do still have some precipitation left on shore here. But it's racing offshore. Like I said, that cold front is very, very strong. It's probably located about there right now. But it was onshore earlier, kind of in the middle of the night there, I would say about 3 a.m. time frame. We had a lot of storminess in general in this corridor here. Lots of stronger lines of thunderstorms moved through here last night, as well as those very strong winds, like I said before. I woke up this morning at about 5 a.m. to some very, very strong gusting winds here in Virginia, and I'm sure it was the same way in a lot of the southeast and especially the northeast, where I've heard that's been the case. Now, interestingly enough, we do have some lake effect snowfall to talk about here. You can see some bands here for Syracuse again. I guess mostly rain there. We did have some snowfall the further inland you go, kind of to the north and the east of Syracuse here. We did have some bands with some snowfall, and also in here in northern Pennsylvania as well. We've had some areas of snowfall as well, with some scattered in areas of rainfall as well. So it's probably been some mixed precipitation for these regions, but potentially some heavier snowfall has come down for a couple of areas there. Now here we are taking a look at some modeled guidance, and as you can see already, by the time I'm selecting the first frame, we have that heavier snowfall ongoing for the Pacific Northwest here. Let's just keep moving on with this though, and this is going to be approximately 2 a.m. on Monday. And you can see these low pressure systems approaching actually the coast, mostly this one here. What we're going to see happen is it is going to move onshore, but it's kind of going to transfer down south here and then wrap around. We're going to see this happen as we continue on with the model run, so let's just play this out. Okay, so it moves towards the coast, our main area of low pressure. We have heavy, heavy snowfall here for these mountain ranges in here, especially. Um, we're watching for a lot of snowfall to come down for those areas for sure. And when the transfer happens, it's right about there, as you can see, 8 p.m. on Monday, where we still have very heavy snowfall throughout all of these western regions here. Plenty of it to go around for sure. And by the time we're reaching about 2 p.m., we could see this low pressure system is located over California, kind of the central eastern California regions. We have heavy snowfall still coming down for these regions, especially the mountainous regions of California there, but also for some of these areas in Nevada as well, seeing that heavier snowfall coming down by this point. And then by the time we reach about 6 a.m. on Wednesday, that's going to be December 15th, or 3 days from now, we can see that a lot of this snowfall is located a lot further inland. We see a lot of the Four Corner states like Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado getting included, but also Nevada still, Idaho, Montana, and even Wyoming included. And our low pressure system is right about there, a 990 millibar low pressure system, and we're going to see it move up just like this and pretty much innocently come to an end. It's actually going to be decreasing in intensity as time moves along. By the time we reach about 3 p.m. that evening, you can tell things are kind of progressively becoming less intense here for these regions. And I'm not sure if that's actually going to be the case, because we actually have a 970 millibar low pressure system by this point. So it is going up in pressure by this point. So I am questioning if that is going to be the case, or if we could see some intensification in these regions. But this model for now wants to show this one really just weakening, which I think is possible. But with this low pressure system intensifying, I would think it might be trying to intensify. Now, things innocently come to an end. This is Thursday, December 16th. We can see some snowfall left over, mostly just snow showers. We see another storm moving into similar regions, but we're going to save that for another video. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to move to the eastern United States. Now we're going to take a look at that eastern threat. So let's just move this on towards where we see this storm really developing. Okay. Let's see. Okay, here's the setup. Okay, we have basically our jet stream set up something like this. By this point, southeast ridge, warm air pushing up like this. But we also have this cold air flooding in behind here. It's trying to flood in there as well. And what we're going to see happen is this storm is generally going to head up like this. And that could lead towards some snowfall to the areas of to the north of that low pressure system. So we're going to have to watch for that very, very closely. This is 2 a.m. here on Monday, December 20th here. Let's just move this on a couple of frames here. So this is going to be about 2 p.m. on Monday, December 20th. And as you can see, we have a broad area of low pressure kind of in here. Somewhere in there is where our low pressure is. The lowest pressure is right there, where the model is indicating. We can see that cold air really flooding in for this region. The problem is the trough is centered like this, because that warm air is really winning out here in the eastern United States. And we might struggle with this a lot this winter, where if we were in a, let's say, a pattern without that southeast ridge, we would have a jet stream that looks a lot more like this, where it's not really struggling to get to these regions because there is no warm air trying to shove its way up right there. We would see cold air pushing down all the way, and we would see the low pressure system take that track, and it would probably bring snowfall to all of these regions here, even the coastal regions. But with a southeast ridge in place, that's just not the case this time around. Now things do get more intense. We have our low pressure system kind of located over the Delmarva there, and the rain snow line is something like this, because of the fact that that warm air is able to make its way in around that low pressure system. And also another problem is as you head up, maybe the surface it's around freezing, but as you head up into the upper layers, it's probably warmer with this low pressure system so close. But nevertheless, we do have very heavy snowfall located in all of these regions. The problem is probably these coastal regions up here are going to end up switching to rain as that low pressure system heads further north. Yeah, and that's what we end up see happen here by 2 a.m. here on Tuesday, December 21st. Huge low pressure system right there, bringing very heavy snowfall to a lot of the interior regions of the Northeast. we would be watching for tons and tons of snowfall with this system, and it eventually moves out by the time we're reaching about 8 p.m. on the 21st. So let's take a look at the total snowfall for this one. And as you can see, if this storm was to occur this way, we would be taking a look at about a dusting, if anything, in these gray regions, 2 to 6 inches of snowfall in those blue regions, about 6 to 10 inches of snowfall in those purple regions there. You can see that right there at the bottom of your screen. These pink regions, you can see plenty of that going on. That is going to be about 10 to 20 inches of snowfall. And then you see these blues here for Maine, north of the Adirondacks, maybe some of the Green Mountains as well as the White Mountains. That is where we're at, about 20 to maybe 36 inches of snowfall. So we're going to be watching for a potential larger snowstorm down the road, although confidence is much lower with this one than it is for our one in the west. So let's take a look out west at how much snowfall we could expect. And again, the scale stays the same, dusting, if anything, in the gray, 2 to 6 inches in the blue, 6 to 10 inches in the purple, 10 to 20 in the pinks, and then 20 inches plus here in those pastel colors. We see plenty of I almost said castels, plenty of the pastels for the Cascades there, a little bit of a tongue twister. And that is generally going to be in the much higher end. It's going to even go higher than 48 inches because we see 119 inches there for California, 74 a little bit further south. We see 45 there for Northern California, 64 for the Cascades there in Oregon. I almost lost the name of that state there. 45 inches there for the Cascades in Washington, 28 there for Idaho, 18 there on the border of Idaho and Wyoming, 19 there for Montana, 21 for Nevada. Tons and tons of snowfall for these western states as well is the point that I'm trying to get at. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, we're at a 4 out of 6. Confidence is very high for the snowstorm that is starting out right now, but it's very low for the one in about a week from now. So we are watching for both of those things. That kind of middles out to about 4 out of 6. Also, for today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, when do you think the cooldown is going to come? When are we going to see this pattern switch? Will it be before Christmas, after Christmas? And James Marsh said, I believe it will happen about a week before Christmas and stick around through Christmas. And I think that is a big possibility at this point. We're watching for around the 20th through the 24th for a switch up in that pattern. It might be later, might be earlier, but we are generally watching that time frame for that switch up to occur. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovin Nagel, Larry the Pan, Mandy Birchfield, and Patrick Strickland as well. I would also like to thank our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Kudalesa, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Cindy Klein, Alan Goodmaben, Bill Dallas, Gary, John Colisi, Dwight Phelan, Stephen Grunenthal, and Thomas D. Barr as well. I would also like to thank our channel members, Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox also. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.